Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the 682. I can't make this wiring harness work, so we're going to remove the old one and we're going to put a different one in. I have another used one I'm going to put in. So I'm going to show you how I take them off. Going to try to make it as simple as possible, and hopefully the one that I put in, which the harness in one of these 82 series are very they're difficult here and there. I'm not going to dismiss that. The Cyclops are much worse, but we're going to remove it. Right here is the one I'm going to put in it, and just follow along. We're going to start from the back, move our way forward, unhook the gauges, and we're going to unhook the hydrostat lever right here from the cam. And the reason we're going to do that is because, and I'll go around to the other side and show you, the harness is right close to that area right there. So we're going to make as much room to make it as easy as possible. The first thing we're going to remove is the solenoid right here in the back, the relay, and then we're going to take this box here, the battery tray, and we're gonna lift it so we can just put the wires in underneath this area right here. So you'll see when we're doing it. I did quite a few wiring harnesses over the years. A lot of times I don't butcher my wiring harnesses. If I'm changing out a KT17 to an M18, I put an 1811 wiring harness right in them. I want everything to appear and be as factory as possible. So we're going to just take this out complete, and we're going to first take this off. Like I said, takes a 7/16 wrench. It's going to take 1/2 inch to lift this tray right here. I'm probably going to use new nuts, but I'll leave them right there. I've already sprayed everything down with WD-40. Let it sit overnight. Makes a lot of difference. Yeah, I struggled with this harness. I couldn't make it work. I don't know what the issue is with it, and with the headlights being kind of in disarray, the front nose piece is busted also. I decided the best way to remedy this issue, right here is the ground for the battery, is to just change out the harness. Right here's your tail lights. We're going to set that tray right there. We're going to take the cam lever right here. This is your control lever. That's how they operate. We're going to loosen it up. 7/16 on the inner, 1/2 inch here. This will make it a lot easier. I use a cotter pin puller just to slide these tabs back. There, now we're nice and loose. Now I'm going to move the camera, and we're going to go up in this area right here. I'm going to try to show it to you the best way possible. Now I'm going to remove this complete. And actually, I'm going to take that all the way out before I move much further, and I'll show you why I'm going to do that. I was just thinking to put the new one in, I'm not going to take the relay off, and if I have this completely removed and set over to the side here, I'll be able to put that relay right through there, and it'll make it an easy install. These are fine thread right here. This will be a little bit difficult to hook back up because I don't have very small fingers. But we'll manage. And when we put that back in, we can put that up like that and put it right back in, so. Now right here's a neutral safety switch. We're gonna bend that tab all the way up. I'm gonna slide that over, get that off. Right there's the clip that holds the wiring in place when you hook up the neutral cutout switch there. The brake switch, if you want to call it that. Now I already have the electric clutch switch out. I thought maybe that was my issue. For some reason, the plastic covers aren't on that, so I'm not sure if them are correct or not. And I could have probably fixed the harness, but with the headlights, I'm so fussy. I want the headlights to hook up just like original. So we might as well do it that way. I've already bypassed one fuse trying to make it work. This is a quick way to do it. Put 2 spades on there, and because these bus fuses are a little bit more difficult, you can switch them over to the flats. Okay, we're all unhooked there. Now we're all unhooked, and then we can so now we're on to the switch right here. 11:30 seconds. Some are 11:30 seconds. Some are 3/8. This one here, we're going to see what it is, and it is 3/8 on this one here. Usually it goes to take the hour meter out 11:30 seconds. These nuts are usually 3/4, but some of these cheaper switch or amp gauges I've seen 11:30 seconds. The acid is really bad in this area right here. I believe this machine's been sitting for a while. The red always goes right here on the left-hand side. The green goes on the right. Now you definitely have to take your fuel tank out to put a new harness in. To be honest with you, I have a lot of people that panic about removing the fuel tank. It's one of the first things I always do on an 82 series. We're on to the ground. Right here's the ground for the headlights. If your headlights aren't working, that could be the issue. We're gonna have to take this bolt all the way out because that's an I type terminal. Sorry about the delay about that. Right here's where we're gonna plug in the motor. We're going to unhook the starter after we do the motor. And And you can see right there is one of them grounding type washers, them star ones. When I dismantle machines, that's one of the first things I save. One thing I do when I put them back together is I always put a new bolt in this area right here. 5/16 takes a 1/2 inch. Right there, we unhooked it. If it's a 2-spade, it's always points ignition. If it's a 3-spade, it's just a mag ignition. And the reason they have a triple spade is one is the oil switch for the oil pressure. Now, next thing we're going to do is take the starter off in that area right there. And then we have the electric clutch to take off. Now, this could be a little tricky right here. You definitely want to hold your wire because you don't want to turn in the starter, the post. And this one came off. Sometimes they won't. You have to pull your motor to change a starter. Have videos on that. I did that on my 1812. I need to get a motor in my 1812. Somebody's been in here because this tab is not tucked into this cover right here. That's out. We're going to take the headlights out before we take the electric clutch. So right there, here's two nice headlights right there, rubber mount ones. Okay, right there is the electric clutch unhooked. And right there's the old harness. It's out. I'm pretty happy about it. Don't sweat it. We're going to do it on film, putting the other one back in. Hopefully after we get done putting the new one in, hopefully it works. I've had them put them in before that they haven't. I'll admit that. But it's really not that big a job. Don't sweat it. You can see they look pretty bare without them. Now, if you have a 782, 982, 1811, or any of them, with that hydraulic valve that's right here, this is a much harder job. Now, one thing I always suggest when you put a wiring harness in with one with hydraulics, make sure everything is perfect in this area because you cannot reach them bus fuse areas right there. Very, very difficult. So that's one thing is a little bit different. A lever lift is a lot easier. You can see everything is dismantled in this area right here. So probably going to turn this one over to hydraulics. I haven't had a good 682 in quite some time and probably going to pull this motor out. So we're going to put the wiring harness in at a later time. Want to get everything washed. You can see I have quite a lot of grease on it. So we're going to move on to the next project, and thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Love doing the little bit more difficult jobs on a Cub Cadet. Love the Cub Cadet business. We're a parts salvage yard, plus I restore quite a few of my own. So thank you for following me, and we're going to move on and see if we can get that 70 series Cub Cadet, and we have a 149 that we're going to see if we can get running. Today we're working on a 72. It just came in here. We're going to use the auxiliary tank. The fuel tank wasn't hooked up. The harness looks like it has a little bit of disarray. The voltage regulator is right there on the floor. Give you a walk around on it. Has a perfect seat. That's outside, but I'm just going to hot wire it and see if she runs. I was told it did. Bought a bunch of them, so we're going to see if this one runs. I'm going to try to get them running each one at a time. I bought a big estate out. There are going to be some videos coming up on that. I bought around 20 Cub Cadets out of that estate. So we're going to hot wire it. So we're live there. that. Going to put the air cleaner back on it. Try to decide what I'm going to do is either put this 72 together or I'm going to part it out. I've never owned a 72 before, but it had been sitting for about 25 years. The gentleman told me that we bought the estate from, and I believe a lot of these machines that you're going to be seeing in this upcoming videos were definitely sitting for 25 years because the dirt was right in the front wheel. So they definitely, the rear tires were down, and they were sitting in a barn for a long time. So these are kind of rare around here. You don't see a lot of 72s. And we're just going to slap the hood back on, put it in the storage building, and move on to the next project. We're going to see if this 149 works. It's getting very cold out. We're already in the 30s, so we're going to turn the switch on. The solenoid's not working. I've already tried it. Sometimes on these Delco solenoids, all you have to do is jump across them once and then they'll go back to work. This machine's been sitting for 25 years, so we're going to see if we can get it to fire. Let's see if it'll start again. No, it won't start, but it definitely runs really well. I didn't even clean the carburetor, so pretty happy about that. Somebody's interested in that 149, just let me know. Make a great parts tractor, but a 149 is pretty hard to come by in this area right here. So we have quite a few machines to see if we can get running. But we're going to go through them one by one, see. Some might go for parts, but pretty happy this 149 runs. The gentleman told me in the estate that it did run, but it hadn't been running for 25 years. So this one here was pretty clean. This one was on cement floor. A lot of these machines right here were not. They were right down in the dirt. So we're going to see if we can get them running and move on to the next project.